Guess what happened, everyone? When I was posting up the poll for Feasting with the King, somehow my OBS stopped recording. All right? So this is why I don't do stuff like this on the fly usually, because it screws with everything. So you who are here live on the stream watching the PreStream podcast have no issue, but those who are watching on demand on YouTube, you now have 2 videos. It's incredibly confusing. You're incredibly upset with me, and I apologize wholeheartedly. I'm stupid, and I didn't realize that was going to happen, okay? So anyway, to reiterate what I said, since those watching on demand now didn't hear it, I literally, during the PreStream podcast, just posted up the poll on the main channel page of DSPGaming under the community tab. There's 3 kinds of cuisine you can vote on for the upcoming episode of Feasting with the King that will take place this Thursday live during my marathon for Christmas. The options are as follows. Number 1, Filipino food. Number 2, Thai food. Number 3, Vietnamese food. All kinds of different stuff in those cuisines. Filipino food, apparently they have a special kind of chicken that they make, plus different kinds of soups that I think are heavily reliant on things like bone broth and stuff like that. I could be wrong. But it's pretty unique, and I've never, ever in my life eaten Filipino food before. Never. It would be 100% something new. Thai food is a good variety of stuff. Everyone thinks Thai food, pad Thai, right? Usually Thai food is spicy, but also can feature ingredients like peanuts as a common ingredient. But also they do other things with fish and stuff. So that would be interesting too, because I've only had Thai food maybe a small handful of times in my whole life. And then don't forget Vietnamese food. Vietnamese food is a good variety of stuff. There are 2 notable dishes that most people talk about is pho, which is their soup that usually has meat and other kinds of ingredients, you know, deep cooked in there. But also banh mi sandwiches, which I've seen but never eaten before. So I'm excited. Any of those things that win this poll would all be great options and a great episode of Feasting with the King for the Christmas marathon. So it's live now. Please vote, okay? Now back to what I was saying before I got sidelined by that, before the video split. Now you're watching 2 PreStream podcasts. This Wednesday, my day off, I need to go to the liquor store and buy liquor, but I'm thinking, I don't want to do beer anymore because I got to eat. I got to do Feasting with the King. I'm also going to be doing a special episode of DSP Tries It. That's 2 holiday items. So I don't want to have a bunch of beer. I just don't. Okay? So what I'm going to be doing is buying some liquor, and we'll see what it is, and I'll probably tell you once I get it so you know what to expect this coming Thursday. When I come back on Thursday, yes, indeed, it will be the Christmas Marathon, starting at the usual time in the morning, all right? And basically going all day long. I'll be in festive Christmas attire that chances are I'll probably change my attire when we hit milestones of fundraising that day. So we hit a certain tips goal. Oh, I'll switch sweaters or something, right? Something silly like that. And in addition, I'll be playing 3 games, one of which is The Forest. That's the one the members already chose. But the other games you guys are also currently voting on, in the lead right now by a pretty big margin, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, which if it does continue to be in the lead, I'll be playing... What are you looking at? Oh, that's Twisty. The Twisty, Jasper Kitty. Go get it. I'll be playing The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition for the Xbox Series X, optimized at 60 frames, and then on top of that, they just released a new Anniversary Edition expansion for $16 that apparently adds new plot lines and new content, so I'll be doing that. And then, if the second place game remains Resident Evil 4, I'll be playing that as well. That's the Xbox 360 version, digitally over Xbox Live. So at least 3 games, plus Feasting with the King in the middle of it, and then at the end of the night, DSP Tries It to end the event. So it's going to be a great event. Good, good games that you guys picked, and food and fun and drinks and festiveness all day long. And I hope that you guys will join me for that this coming Thursday. It's going to be a great time. Okay. Friday, I will be here. It's Christmas Eve, but I'm only going to be here for one stream. It'll be Holiday Ask the King, where I answer your questions live on the stream. So please, I should emphasize this. I need you guys to ask more questions. How do you ask them? Type ! Ask the King into the stream chat. It brings up the link. You go there. You post up your questions on my forums. Or if you're watching this video on demand, you just go to the forums. Go to the forums, and there's a way there to post up questions. Now, here's the thing. Here's the rub. Okay? If you're a channel member, you're going to get priority. And what I need to do is I need to actually put up on my main page here the post just for channel members. So guess what I'm about to do? I'm going to right now live on my laptop this time, as to not screw up the pre-stream because I was stupid that I screwed it up like I did. I'm going to post up yet another post, this one for members only. Hello, channel members. I need more questions for this Friday's episode of episode of Ask the King. So post up here. Your questions get high priority to be answered live on the show this Christmas Eve. Good luck and happy holidays. So there you go. So that's getting posted up right now. Now, if you're a channel member of mine, all 320 of you and growing, give that a look. That's again on the channel page of DSPGaming. Respond. You're not going to see your response show up immediately because I need to review them and approve them. But I will get all those responses up as soon as I can over the course of this week. And then on Friday, I'll be answering your questions. All right, on the show. It should be a good time. Okay. I'm not here Friday night because it's Christmas Eve. I'm going to be spending that night with my wife. And same thing on Christmas Day. I will not actually be here. I will be celebrating with my wife and making a nice Christmas roast and doing all this holiday festive stuff. I shall return on Sunday. And you might say, well, Phil, what game are you going to start playing on Sunday? Well, here's the thing. All right? Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to have a new games rotation going on. All right? Basically, when I finish Lost Judgment, then we're really freed up to do a lot of cool stuff. But I have to finish Lost Judgment. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay? When I return on Sunday, the 26th of December, the main gameplay streams will be balanced between Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, Resident Evil 4, and Skyrim. It'll be a balance between those three games on the main streams for the foreseeable future. We'll just rotate around those games. Okay? That's what the main streams will be. The late streams will be as follows. Lost Judgment, Halo Infinite Multiplayer, and Street Fighter. Okay? Once I complete Lost Judgment, which I'm really hoping we will do soon, then I will do my year-end series, which is going to be the most disappointing games of 2021, as well as the Game of the Year awards. How will I do it? It'll be a live stream format, just like I'm doing now. Do you really have to lick my head like that? Jasper? Yeah! A vicious, loving attack. You ever think the words vicious and love could be used in the same sentence like that? Would you stop playing with my bottle cap? He's a nut today. What a silly cat. Anyway. So, that being said. What was I saying? Oh, the year-end series will be a live stream like this. Likely I'll do it as a daytime stream. The first half would be the most disappointing games countdown, and the second half will be the Game of the Year awards. That's what I'm thinking. Okay? I hope that sounds good to you. But I need to finish Lost Judgment. So we're finishing Lost Judgment. Then it's that. Then we will get into the real schedule for January, which will be as follows. GTA 3, Resident Evil 4, and Skyrim on the main streams. And then the late night streams will be as follows. Halo Infinite Multiplayer, Condemned Criminal Origins, continuing on from Halloween and finishing, Street Fighter every Friday night, and sneaking in when I can, some YouTuber's Life 2. That sim game that I've only played twice since I bought it like 2 months ago. I'm going to try to play some more of that. You guys seem to like it when I played it. So that's the deal. That's what the streams will be in January. Okay? I hope that sounds good. It'll be a good... Ah! Why are you attacking me? What is going on with you? What the... Oh, that's it, Jasper Kitty. That's it. We're going to fight. We're going to have it out right now. You ready? Put up your dukes. It's being a nut today. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking for the schedule. I hope that sounds good. I hope that sounds good. That should be what we do in January, okay? So that's the schedule for like the next several weeks. You know, we got the Christmas week specials. We've got, you know, new playthroughs in the daytime, finishing up Lost Judgment, and then moving on to the year-end series, and then even more fun new stuff. So got great stuff coming up here on the streams. Awesome. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm crowdfunded. Everything I do is crowdfunded by you. I don't make a lot of money on ads on YouTube. I make an okay amount this time of year because they're inflated a bit, but mostly nothing. And it's really about you guys crowdfunding my efforts to do what I do. I have made tons of dramatic improvements this year, including making a podcast every morning, doing a daily rap video, being on camera for the podcast, and all kinds of things that I've done. your suggestions for improve. Would you not bite those wires? Your suggestions for improvement, okay? Would you stop messing with my wires? That's it. Now I've had it. Now you're gonna get it. It's time for a kitty suplex. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Come here. Come here. Arr. Come here. Hoochie, hoochie, hoochie. Woohoo! Oh my God, this cat. This cat is full of energy today, man. Actually, I'm going to turn on my fan while I'm up. My fan's been off. I might have to go downstairs and get him a spring. When I got him a spring last time, he had so much fun with it, playing it. Playing with that spring all day. Maybe I'll go get another one, because we do have more. Okay? All right. So, if you like my content and my antics here on stream every day, please support it. You could become a channel member, which we're trying to push to hit this members goal by the end of the month. At this point, it ain't looking good. We only got about 11 days left in the month. Sure would be great this Christmas week if we could get a big push. If you're not a member, you get so many benefits for being a member. Please consider it. You do super chat or super sticker. Those are great ways to support the channel long term, or if you want to help in the short term, tipping is the best way to go about supporting the channel. When you tip, you work towards a tip's goal of rewards here. $50 I put on Gunner glasses. At $100 you get to pick a festive holiday hat for me to wear out of many choices. At $150 in tips, which is the maximum goal for the stream, you get to pick a fun holiday sweater for me to wear today. Okay? Yesterday I wore the Let's Get Lit hat, which was so bright people were going blind. And a bunch of dancing Christmas kitties on a sweater. Awesome. Please consider contributing if you like the content. All right. Christmas stuff. First of all, last night I put a poll up on Twitter. I asked a question that I needed an answer. I had a burning question. It was burning really badly. And let me tell you, I had tried to satiate that burn for many years with various salves and ointments. And the burning just isn't going away. Now, anyone in their right mind probably would have went to, like, you know, a dermatologist by now. Jasper just closed himself into the bedroom again. Hold on. Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty. You've done it again. I can't believe this. Look what you did. You closed yourself in the bedroom. Why do you keep doing this? How do you keep doing this? I'm going to crack this window open. Here you go. Get some fresh air. We'll play in the wind. Get some fresh air. Holy macaroni. I honestly don't know how he does it. He goes in the bedroom, and then he closes the door behind himself, so he's stuck in the bedroom. Either that or it's haunted. Maybe the bedroom's haunted. It could be, because that door loves to close itself. So maybe the bedroom's actually haunted. And there's a ghost who's like, Jesus, stop leaving this door open. What, you live in a barn? And slams the door. I don't know. Maybe it's the ghost of Christmas past, present, or future trying to haunt me. Trying to turn me into a, you know, not Scrooge or something. I don't know. But anyway, I have a burning question. All right? And my dermatologist would not solve the burning itch. So I posted the question up last night on Twitter, 11 hours ago. And here's the question I posted up. Flash poll, I'm always confused by this, so let's settle it. When is the correct time to set up your Christmas decorations or your Christmas tree? So many movies that I watch say Christmas Eve, but I've never done that. Right. And it's weird, really weird. All right? Some of the movies that I always watch, for example, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the traditional show, the animation, the Who's in Whoville set up their decorations on Christmas Eve. The day before. Okay? The classic American movie, A Christmas Story. Okay? The whole movie's about Christmas. The whole movie's supposed to be like you're going through the month of December, seeing what the family does, you know, the kids and everything. But then they don't set up their Christmas decorations, their Christmas tree, until Christmas Eve. Okay? And that's just a few examples. There's actually quite a few movies and things like that where you don't decorate till Christmas Eve. And it seems like that maybe historically in America, maybe 50, 60 years ago, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was the actual practice was don't do it till Christmas Eve. Then you have it Christmas Eve as a family thing. You do it together as part of the holiday. Then Christmas Day, you open presents, you eat food, you visit relatives, and maybe you leave it up for like a week, and then you take it down come the new year. I don't know. I don't know what the actual rules are, what the tradition is, okay? First of all, here's the results of the poll. 299 people voted. Shame on you, because this poll was up for 11 hours, and only 299 people voted on my Twitter. Yet when I post something up on my YouTube channel, I get like 1,000 responses in a few hours. So shame on you guys for not voting on my Twitter. How dare you? You should have voted. But anyway, here's the deal. Early November got 12% of the vote. 12% of the people, literally the moment that Halloween ends. All right? You didn't even eat the candy yet. You know, whatever candy you got trick-or-treating, you put it into a big bag or a bowl, and then you put up your Christmas stuff right away. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. You got the Christmas shit out because you're so into the festive fun of the season. Is that what you're voting for? I think Jasper's saying that's what he votes for. He says you should put up the stuff as soon as possible. I think that's why he just jumped on the chair like that. Okay? The second option, just after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, you sit down, you eat your Thanksgiving meal with your family. You get drunk Uncle Bob out the door. And then what do? You start decorating for Christmas right away. Okay? That way, you'll have Christmas decorations for the month of December into Christmas, right? Or actually on Christmas Eve is when you start. So I guess it's a family tradition. You do it together on Christmas Eve, a way to celebrate the holiday with your friends and family. You do it together. So here you go. 12% of people said early November. 20% of people said actually on Christmas Eve itself. And 68%, a whopping 68%, kind of agree with me and what my family used to do, doing it just after Thanksgiving. In fact, traditionally for my family, we would have our Thanksgiving meal and all of that. And then usually it was that weekend right after. So you'd have Black Friday, everyone's going crazy shopping. But then usually like Saturday, Sunday, that weekend is when we would put up our Christmas tree and you know, have the Christmas decorations in the house. Now, I actually told this story yesterday because I was playing Vice City and someone asked during the stream, they said, well, when would you do your Christmas shopping? And my answer to that is I wouldn't. My parents would usually do all the Christmas shopping when I was in school. That way it would avoid any kind of spoilers of what they bought me for Christmas, you see. And so there were days sometimes when I would be in school, I would come home and all of a sudden there was all these new Christmas decorations in the house. Like, where did this come from? Oh, my dad took the day off of work, didn't tell me. But he took the day off of work, spent the day with my mom. They went out on Christmas shopping, came home, decorated, and did stuff like that, which is really nice. But typically it was that weekend right after Thanksgiving when we would all together put up the Christmas tree, all right? And then over that next week, let's say, for example, my mom and I together had bought a present for my dad, right? We would wrap the present together. My dad's at work. We would wrap that present for him and put it under the tree. And my dad bought a present for my mom. He would wait for her to like go to sleep one night, get up, wrap those presents, put them under the tree. You see? So we all kept a secret from each other. No one really knew who was getting what. The worst could be very confusing if you mislabel the package. Like the year when I received a large bottle of bourbon and I drank it all on Christmas morning when I was only like 6 or 7 years old. But it said Phil, so I mean, that's what happened. You gotta be careful with those Christmas labels. But anyway, no, it didn't happen. But anyway, that was my family tradition, okay? To me, like, first of all, early November is way too early. And I understand there's some people like, there's two holidays, man. There's Halloween and there's Christmas. Like, no, for me, there's Halloween. And yeah, that's a big month of horror and ghosts and goblins and all kinds of stuff like that. But I definitely think that the whole fall vibe of Thanksgiving is a vibe that people should celebrate, at least in the United States. Some people just like to skip right through it, but for me, like, I like to decorate my house a little bit more like autumn stuff at that point. You know, put out leaves and scarecrows and the horn of plenty and giant cobs of corn. I have a giant cob of corn the size of me, and I put it into the corner of my living room. No, but you know what I'm saying. It's really, for me, it was you have Thanksgiving, and then right after is when Christmas starts. Like, that's when you get your decorations going. And for me, the tradition is you'd put up your Christmas decorations until roughly the first week of January, and then they would come down. Now I'm an adult. I say, fuck all that. I'll leave them up as long as I want. It's my goddamn house. So now I leave up my Christmas decorations for a while. I probably won't even take anything down until, like, I'm not even kidding, like February. I'll probably leave it up all January. When everyone else is saying, fucking humbug, it's the new year, I say, haha, it's Christmas all month, baby. So that's how I am. Oh, God. Oh, my God, excuse me. Oh. I've done it again. One too many Christmas cordials this morning. Whew. I apologize wholeheartedly, everyone. Okay. Now, I just mentioned Christmas movies, right? And to me, there's like movies that are just like synonymous with Christmas. And I've got to, whenever I have an opportunity, I have to watch these movies every year because they get me into the festive mood of Christmas. And some of my best ones, one of my favorite ones. So let me tell you my favorite Christmas movies, and I'll hear what some of yours are. So first of all, the one movie that every year I got to watch is A Christmas Story. This actually was my dad's favorite Christmas movie from when he was a kid. And I like it now. Actually, I say from when he was a kid. Not when he was a kid, when he was like a younger adult. Because I think it came out in the 1980s. It's a 1980s Christmas movie. But it's reminiscent of like isn't it supposed to be the 1950s or 60s? I always forget the time period. But my dad always says when he watches that movie, he remembers being a kid. Because a lot of the things in that movie are from like that time period. You see? So that's a great movie, man. Even though a lot of the stuff in the movie is culturally outdated by today's standards. When you watch A Christmas Story, it feels like you're going back in time. It does. It feels like, oh man, I'm going back to old school Americana now. I get to see how things used to be. All the little cultural things the kids liked back then. It's still got some jokes that are so funny. The kid getting his tongue stuck on the flagpole. Scut Farkus, just his fucking name. Alone. You know? His toady, Grover Dill. Grover Dill. Imagine if your name was Grover Dill. You might as well just fucking go into witness protection now. But I love that movie. Really. There's so much funny stuff. Hell, if you didn't know that I'm a fan of the movie, the biggest animations right now on my stream for the $100 tip and the $20 super chat are from the best scene of The Christmas Story when Santa tells Ralphie, if you get a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas, she'll shoot your eye out. So, ho, ho, ho. And then he takes his big boot and he kicks him right in the face. Best scene in the movie. And that's why it's on my streams. It's one of my favorite animations on the stream as well. You'll get to see it if you do a $100 tip or a $20 super chat. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. See how I wedged that in there? It's great timing. It's all about timing. Okay. Other Christmas movies that I love. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Out of all the actual National Lampoon's movies, you know, of that family, Chevy Chase's family, that's my favorite one. I'm not saying that they're not all good. Like the regular Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation. They're all good movies in their own right. But I feel like Christmas Vacation absolutely is the best one. And that movie, when I watch it, I always laugh my ass off because it reminds me of when I was a kid having Christmas with my relatives. And how you would always have the relatives that had weird quirks and acted weird and did weird stuff. And yeah, absolutely, that movie resonates with me. In those regards. A couple of things it doesn't, like my dad never received a bonus from his job or whatever, and one of the main plot lines of the movie is that Chevy Chase is trying to get this bonus for his family to help them out. They want to build a pool and stuff for their house, but I never had that, you know, but a lot of the other things in the movie are hilarious. I absolutely love that movie. Home Alone. Absolutely Home Alone. Number one, Home Alone. The debate ends here. I'm settling this right fucking now. Home Alone is a Christmas movie. Hold on. Home Alone is a Christmas movie. If you disagree with me, wrong! You're wrong. Home Alone absolutely is a Christmas movie. I just talked about this like yesterday or the day before. How the underlying themes of Home Alone, of, you don't realize what you've got till it's gone. Your family members may be some of the most obnoxious people you know, but you should cherish the time you have with them because if they were to disappear or go away or things change over the years and you grow apart, you're going to realize that those are some of the best times of your life, which 100% I agree with, because that's exactly what happened to me. When I was a kid, I always took it for granted. I was like, oh, we got to go to my godparents' house to see them for Christmas. Oh, we got to go to my great aunt and uncle's house on Christmas Eve. We really got to do that. Can't we just stay home and I can play video games, right? And I hung out with my cousins, and I hung out with all of my family members, and we had all kinds of fun drinks and food and Christmas celebrations and music and opening of presents. It was really fucking nice. But, of course, as a kid, you don't know that because you're stupid, right? Then I grow up, and I'm like, shit. I think about today how all of my relatives over the years had falling out. It never had anything to do with me. I was always just the kid in the situation, but all my relatives ended up hating each other and moving away from each other and disowning each other and not wanting to speak to each other. I literally have no contact with any of my cousins, with any of my godparents. Haven't spoken to them in a decade, if more, not more. And most of my other relatives have passed away. Seriously, one of my uncles just passed away recently. My aunt on one side, my great aunt, my great uncle. So all the people who I used to celebrate the holidays with, either, I don't have any contact with anymore. They've moved on with their own lives, or they're dead. And that's sad. I liked having that holiday, even though back then I didn't know what I had. I didn't cherish it. Now I do. I'm like, damn, I'm never gonna have that again. I'm just not. I'm never gonna have that kind of holiday celebration ever again. But that's why that movie really resonates with me. Okay. Home Alone, I mean, because you don't realize what you have till it's gone, you see. What else? Let's think. So, every Christmas, there's 5 zillion versions of A Christmas Carol that come out, right? There's like 5 zillion. There's probably one where like fucking, Snooki from fucking Jersey Shore plays Scrooge or something. But for me, after watching all of the different versions of A Christmas Carol, there's 2 non-standard versions that stand out for me that I think are the best, okay? The first one that I actually liked the most when I was a kid was Scrooged. This is the 1980s film starring Bill Murray as a television executive. It's supposed to be a modernization of the classic Christmas Carol formula. He is literally an uncaring corporate bastard. And he's ruining people's lives left and right. He fires someone on Christmas Eve. He's treating everyone like dirt. Okay? And the ghosts come to him. And it's hilarious because he doesn't think they're ghosts, of course. And I just love that movie. I think it's classic Bill Murray at his best, at the top of his game, combined with a classic Christmas theme. I really, really, really like that movie. Okay? Now, if you're talking more traditional Christmas Carol movie, I actually think the best one, and you might disagree with me here, which you have right to, I actually think the best Christmas Carol movie is actually The Muppet Christmas Carol. And the funny thing about this is, I never saw The Muppet Christmas Carol. A Tasmanian devil in the house. Holy crap. I never saw A Muppet Christmas Carol until arguably about a decade ago. I think it was right about the time when I was actually starting up as a YouTuber. And I saw it on demand on one of the video services. I don't remember which. Maybe it was Amazon Prime or something else, because Disney Plus didn't exist back then. And I remember watching it and being absolutely, positively blown the fuck away at how good it was. I said, this isn't even like a Muppet movie. This is like on a level way up here compared to anything else the Muppets ever put out. And I love the Muppets and their movies. And I was like, damn, this is good. Michael Caine knocks it out of the park as Scrooge. Like, that's probably the best Scrooge. And I've seen Patrick Stewart do it. And I've seen heavy theater actors do it. Dude, Michael Caine is the best Scrooge. I don't care what anyone says. Michael Caine is the best Scrooge. And if you disagree with me, well, you're wrong. He is the best Scrooge, and you cannot debate it. Okay? To me, that movie is just kind of like the perfect combination of what you want in like a Christmas movie. It's scary, but it's funny, but it's serious, but it's not so serious. It makes you feel like I cry at the end every time, right? Seriously. It's great. Okay? It's absolutely great. I love The Muppet Christmas Carol. And it's funny because I only just saw it like 10 years ago, and then it became one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time once I finally saw it. Geez, what else? So those are, I would say, Jingle All The Way as well. That's a 1990s movie that really put you in the 90s. The craze of people trying to get physical toys for their kids in the 90s, it doesn't really exist anymore. Today it's like, oh, darn, I went to the store, they ran out of the V-Bucks cards for fucking Fortnite, right? But back then it was like, Turbo Man, Jamie. I need to get a Turbo Man for Jamie. Oops, I forgot to get one. Now I have to go all over the country trying to find one. Like, geez, what a moron. And it's funny, because I tell my story about the Wolverine figure. And people say to me, Phil, you're so full of shit. That's just the plot of Jingle All The Way. To which I say, yes, you're correct. One day my dad did actually punch Sinbad in the face trying to get me a Wolverine toy for Christmas. That did happen. Just ask Sinbad why he can't really move his mouth well this way anymore. But outside of that part of it, all right, no. The Wolverine toy story that I tell is not just me trying to make Jingle All The Way about me. It actually is a true story. That back then in the 90s, the toys were actually that scarce and popular. There were asshole collectors who wanted to buy every toy because they thought that they were going to have intrinsic value as a collector's item. So trying to get toys for your kids, especially around Christmas, was actually a pain in the fucking ass. So that whole story of Jingle All The Way is actually 100% true, including the fact that my dad dressed up as Turbo Man and shot all around the street with a jetpack on. It actually happened. So anyway, I like Jingle All The Way. It's a hilariously stupid movie. It's really dumb, but it's so memeable. It's still funny to this day, some of the dumb shit in there. Okay? I love that movie. Okay. And of course, if you want horror, everyone will say, oh, what about the Krampus? Or what about this? Nah, Gremlins. Gremlins is absolutely the best hybrid movie. It's a Christmas movie, it's a comedy, and it's a horror movie all in one. Gremlins is a really great 1980s movie. Okay, and it absolutely is a Christmas movie. Can't debate that. Okay. What are some of the worst Christmas movies ever made, in my opinion? Well, we've talked about some of the best ones, all right? One movie that I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why it was made. I don't know why people watch it, except they just like to laugh at a bad movie. You know, it's like I can sit here and watch this 90-minute movie and laugh at how bad it is. Or, all right, I can take a big wooden plank and just slam it right against my nutsack as hard as I possibly can. And I'll be in pain for like maybe a few minutes, but then the pain will eventually subside. Or I could put myself through 90 minutes of it. So, of course, the movie I'm speaking about is The Polar Express. I just don't understand that movie at all. I don't even know what the point is. Like, wow, the animation is atrociously bad. Even for the time period, the people don't look like people. They look like these weird aliens. Contorted. Weird. Fucking, why is Tom Hanks every adult in the movie? Was Tom Hanks ever so popular? Ever? Was there ever a point in human history that Tom Hanks was so popular that someone actually stood up and said, I want a movie where Tom Hanks plays every single major person, including fucking Santa Claus, Santa Hanks, right? I just don't understand the movie. I don't get it. Okay? It's weird. Fucking Steven Tyler is an elf and he plays a song in the middle of a square full of other elves. The elves are skydiving. There's a bunch of guys out of no. Okay. All right. The whole movie is a weird trip. And I think one of the things of the movie that make it so weird is that there's portions of the movie that were designed solely for a 3D delivery. The movie was actually Polar Express 3D. In theaters, they'd give you the 3D glasses, and you would see it. Oh my God, it's 3D animation. Look, it's coming at me and shit. So there's scenes that literally are made for the 3D animation. You can tell when they're going, you know, oh, they're going over the train through the snow, and oh, the tunnel's coming. You can tell it's all 3D shit coming at you. When you see it in 2D, it ain't that good at all. All right? But... and I could sit here and tell you 40 reasons why the movie is fucking weird and should never have been made. It's a real abomination of Christmas. But, by far, the weirdest thing about this movie inexplicable, incredibly disturbing, and still haunts my nightmares to this day. The hot chocolate scene. If you've never seen it, excuse me, I urge you right now, if you want to actually, if you have a night when you're like, man, I actually don't want to go to sleep tonight. I want to stay up all night long. All right? For some odd reason. Whether you have work to do or something. Go watch the hot chocolate scene of the Polar Express. You cannot sleep. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. Do you kids want some refreshment? Says the train conductor. Yes, sure, why not? Okay, the doors burst open with berserker force, and an army of waiters come in, dancing and singing, with metal trays and steaming hot chocolate. They're pouring it insanely dangerously through the air in inexplicable arcs into the cups, giving it to the kids that's steaming hot chocolate. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, they're doing acrobatics and shit, weird stuff. Tom Hanks actually sings. He sings. He goes, with hot chocolate, there's one rule. Never, ever let it cool. What the fuck? I mean, I like hot chocolate. But I don't want anything to do with a bunch of crazy dancing, acrobatic, aerial pouring freaks giving me the hot chocolate. And then, after doing all this, they all just dance out of the car and the doors slam, and then no one ever speaks of it ever again. It's as if the scene never happened in the movie. No one says, oh, what the fuck was that? Everyone's just like, oh, by the way, the waiters are never seen again. They just disappear. The train is only manned by Tom Hanks as the conductor, the two guys who work the front of the train, who are supposed to be like, you know, actually controlling the train, and the children on the train. There's no one else on the train besides a hobo ghost that's never explained. There's also one of the most confusing plot points I've ever seen in my life because it doesn't make any sense. But where did they all go? They deliver the hot chocolate. Are they ghosts? Do they get warped away for the whole year? Literally, do they only exist to deliver hot chocolate to children once a year on the Polar Express, and then their finger snapped out of existence? Right? Do they get thrown off the fucking train when they're done? Well, you prepared your whole life for this. Now's your chance. Get out there, deliver the best performance ever. Good job. Get the fuck off. And they get thrown into the night and they die. They just explode. Their bodies explode. Big gory explosions out in the snowy rocks, right? I just don't understand this movie. I don't get it. The one thing... Okay, here. You ready, ladies and gentlemen? Here's the actual meaning behind the Polar Express. You ready? When you're a child, you have this childlike wonderment. You believe in things that don't necessarily make sense, but because you have this open mind to things, it allows you to discover and to understand and have an imagination, and that's a nice thing to have when you're a child. Okay? You understand? That's cool. When you get older, you lose that aspect. You start to think way more rationally. You get bogged down with practical things in life. You don't have imagination anymore. You don't just have feelings of wonderment about Christmas or anything anymore. You lose that holiday spirit. And when that happens, all that mystique about Christmas goes away. So the movie is about someone who as a child was losing that wonderment. Oh, Santa's fake and everything. But then somehow regains that wonderment through a series of insanely psycho drug-induced hallucinations. Because it's obvious this didn't happen. The child did not go on the Polar Express, go all the way to the North Pole and see Steven Tyler perform for the elves. What actually happened was he had actually watched a Tom Hanks movie the night before, probably had one too many hot chocolates. Possibly the hot chocolate was poisoned or spiked or something by a mismanufacturing defect. The child had crazy hallucinations that night, and then immediately, you know, I don't know. Anyway, that's a weird fucking movie. The other movie, the Christmas movie that I'll absolutely positively hate for all time is The Grinch. The Grinch. The Jim Carrey classic that everyone seems to like. I fucking hate that fucking movie. I think it's terrible. All right? I like the original Grinch animated classic, right? It's only about 20 minutes long, so you might think it's much longer. It's not. You're misremembering as a child. Everything seemed long when you were a kid, right? It's actually only about 20 minutes long, okay? And the original Grinch is great. It's short and to the point. You can celebrate Christmas and the holidays without commercialization. You don't need toys. You don't need money. You don't need any of that. As long as you have a holiday spirit within you of goodness and goodwill towards all other men and creatures. I say men because sexist now, so you have to say all other people or creatures. You can't just say men. Goodwill toward men. Oh, fuck you. You're so canceled. Okay? But, the plot is so simple, right? The plot of the Jim Carrey Grinch movie is don't abuse a child, right? Do not mistreat or abuse a child who is different, because people can be different and still they should be accepted. They shouldn't be bullied. They shouldn't be mistreated. Also, the Grinch is a disgusting horn dog who wants to have sex with the Who's. The other Who's, because supposedly in this one he is a Who. Even though you don't know that from the original Grinch story, apparently he is a Who is mistreated and bullied as a child, and he has weird sexual thoughts in the movie towards this other Who, and it's all he's mistreated, so he becomes this asshole who lives away from the other Who's up in the hills, and then he comes back to town. He tries to ruin Christmas, but then there's this weird plot with the mayor and shit, and this, like I said, this weird sexual stuff is in the movie. I just remember watching this movie and being like, what the fuck am I seeing? Like, this is terrible. Like, who wrote this shit? Right? It's terrible. It's terrible. Why do the Who's have their tits out? Why is there a romance story in The Grinch? The Grinch! It's such a simple movie. There's a guy who doesn't like the positivity of the Who's. He's a grump. He's one of these negative people. All he does is focus on negativity, and he revels. He revels in the suffering of others. You know, like all of YouTube. Like literally every popular YouTuber who makes drama videos about people to bring them down and makes a buck off of others' misery. Like, that's the Grinch. If the Grinch existed in 2021, he would be Keemstar. Like, that would be him. And he would be rich. Okay? But this ain't 2021. This is way back when. Okay? So, he's a negative asshole, toxic person. Alright? And he wants to ruin Christmas for these people over there who have a positive fucking life. Alright? So what does he do? He goes and ruins Christmas. He steals all the presents. He steals the tree. He steals the food. He steals the lights. He takes it all away, and he says, those motherfuckers are going to wake up tomorrow. They ain't going to have nothing to be happy about, and I'm going to be happy because they're miserable. Again, someone who revels in the misery of others and gets positivity out of it, right? I know a lot of people like that on YouTube. So, you know, that's the deal. And that's the main story of the Grinch. Not the Grinch is a bullied kid who, you know, has psychological issues and you know, always wanted to be in love with a Who. And it's fucking weird. I hate that movie. It just bastardized the whole point of the fucking thing. It was supposed to be anti-commercialization and show that you could still be a positive person without needing all these gifts and commercializations of the holidays. You get it? Okay. All right, that's about it for me. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's many other things. And by the way, we still got many days we could talk about Christmas stuff this week, but I think my podcast is going too long. So let's very briefly do shout-outs. All right? On the YouTube side of things, oh, excuse me. It's disgusting. Phil's Drunk As Usual did a super chat. Thank you. Son Ronan did a super chat. Says, play the main story. We don't want boredom, to be honest. No. Phil spent $40,000 on WWE Champions and still does. So not only did I spend it, I still spend it. The same $40,000. Urban Carl did a super chat, and he says, Phil, are you going to try the new blue reflection? You're going to like it. I don't know what the fuck that means. Kevin Bernstein did a super chat, and he says, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Phil in chat. Thank you very much. Urban Carl did another super chat and says, shout out to my Frogus holding it down. Sarah Barclay did a super chat, says, will you read any new RPGs after you finish Lost Judgment? What I'm thinking is, here's what I'm thinking, okay? We're going to finish Lost Judgment. Let's do stuff not RPG related for a bit. Let's have the month, like I said, with GTA 3, which will be relatively short, Resident Evil 4, Skyrim. Skyrim is an RPG, but very different from Lost Judgment. Let's be honest here, okay? We'll have a month of this stuff. End of January, we got Pokemon, right? Which is new and kind of grindy like an RPG. It's not necessarily a traditional RPG, but I think we're going to have that, and then February is going to be absolutely insane. I would say we need to reassess a new RPG later in 2022, maybe after the February craziness. But I feel like with the stuff I got on the agenda already, is going to take us through January, and by the end of January, now we're going to have all new stuff, right, for February. So let's just focus on that, and I don't want to rush into any new RPGs that then end up not ever getting finished. DTF Steak Fries in the Super Chat says, you're going to put some respect on Tom Hanks' name or this money will dry up fast. Well, listen, I actually like Tom Hanks a lot. I liked him as a comedic actor in the 80s, and he got more serious in the 90s, and now he is one of the most beloved actors in America. And I agree with that. I think he's great. I just don't understand Polar Express. It's fucking weird. Okay, now we get to the tip side of stuff. Oh, by the way, I should put DTF Steak Fries as the latest Super Chatter. Thank you, DTF Steak Fries. We start off today with a $10 tip from Rob on Wheels, who says this goes towards Kaito-san's medical bills. Yes, for those who don't know what he's actually referencing the plot of Lost Judgment, although you might have even forgotten the fact that Kaito-san got stabbed by one of the main villains like many streams ago. Because we've been doing so much side content since then that we haven't even gotten back to it. But thank you very much there, Rob on Wheels. John Doe tipped me $1.50. Says, why are you ignoring me? Why don't you play Total War? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about, but thanks for the tip. I'll ignore you further. Our anti-work user tipped $1.50 and says, Phil, I never worked a day in my life. You're fat just like me. Excellent. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Thank you. Play Asia tipped me $4.20 and says, why do you take the girls club seriously? Grow up, dude. You talk about it so much. Dear God, you dumb. Well, you correct. I dumb. I dislike girls bar for bad reason, not good reason. Reason is I like fun. Me find challenge and fun in game that do not simulate girly girl, kissy kiss, datey date, snuggy snoog. You see? You understand? Anso Kamaru tipped $5 and says, I went on a mini vacay with my girlfriend, so I've been binge watching your videos while working from home. I feel like you've been in a great mood lately as your content's even more humorous than usual. Also, your hatred for sexual content in games is unreal, bro. Again, I don't hate it. It's just, to me, I'm not the target audience. I'm not. At one point in my life, I probably was. I'm just not anymore. As I get older, I realize I don't care about sexual content in games and movies and shit anymore. I have a meaningful relationship in my real life, with my wife, that I can get as much of that as I possibly want. Really. I can't, I don't need simulated girlfriends. I don't need to imagine that I'm a detective in Japan who's fucking flirting with a Japanese girl, paying her money for her to act like she likes me, when in reality she doesn't, and she's laughing all the way home that you're such a sucker. So there you go. All right. Rob on Wheels tipped another $4.20, and he says, exactly the same for me. My mom had to try for weeks to get my Buzz Lightyear. Oh, you're talking about toys. Gotcha. Yeah. Seriously, that's how it was back then in the 90s. Like, what happened was, and I know this is so stupid, but it's absolutely true. You had parents actually fighting with middle-aged idiots who thought that every item sold was going to be a collectible, because comic books had become so prominent in the 1990s as collectibles and valuable things for resale. Collectors would literally go to toy stores in the morning when the shipment of boxes were coming in. They would line outside the front door. The doors would open, and they would run in the store to the store manager and be like, did the shipment come in? Can I get the first dibs at the box? I want to see it. And then they would rip the box open and try to get the variant figure or the rare figure, and no kids had a chance to even get it. So now imagine that at Christmas. Every kid wants the same toy, but the collectors bought them up already. That's how it was. It was insane. Seriously, it was absolutely insane. Okay? So I'm interested to hear. That's interesting to hear that across the pond over there, it was the same as it was over here, because it was exactly the same. Okay? And the funny part about all that is, at one point, collectibles like comic books, action figures, cards were all huge. Now they're really not anymore. I said some things have retained their value, like some of the oldest comics and some old like sports memorabilia and stuff like that. For the most part, all that shit in the 90s was just part of a big bubble that burst when everything went digital on the internet, and now no one cares about that shit anymore, you know. Big Papa Phyllis tipped me $5, said, I didn't watch the King of Fighters stream last night because I was traveling back home from visiting my family, but I want to show some support. I've been watching it on demand, and the game looks great. I agree with you. Like, they did a lot of things in this game that make a lot of sense. Like, putting the ping of the match on your screen is fucking genius. Now you know, from the start of a match, is it badly laggy? Will I have issues? Will there be terrible rollback or not? So you're not going into the match, and then all of a sudden you're shocked at how bad it is when you're trying to play seriously. When I start up a match in a fighting game, it says 250 milliseconds, I say, all right, the game's going to be terrible. And it's okay. I can accept that because I know I'm going into it. It's going to be bad. I don't have to rage at it being so bad, right? So, yeah, I like that. I like the fact that some of the characters play like classic King of Fighters. Like I said, I probably with Terry Bogard last night. He really reminded me of Terry Bogard from like King of Fighters 98, right? Now, of course, there's all these new gameplay elements I don't understand yet that I'm going to have to learn. But I like it so far. My initial impressions for the 2 betas I played is thumbs up, and I can't wait for it to come out in February to try it out. So thank you for the support there, Big Papa Phil. Thank you to everyone who was here last night for King of Fighters and supported it. People all the time ask me, will you play a fighting game other than Street Fighter? And my answer is always, well, there's got to be one that interests me enough. Well, maybe King of Fighters will be the one. If it has longevity, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Let's see here. Well, King Lunar says, are you willing to make a Resident Evil 4 full playthrough since there's been no hint of a Resident Evil 4 remake at all? No, there has been a... Sorry. Oh, a gremlin got stuck in my throat. That was disgusting. I think it was Spike. There has been indications that they're remaking Resident Evil 4. In fact, they've already kind of outright said that's the next one we're remaking. But, listen. People already want this for Christmas. So, yeah, if I start this for Christmas, I play for like an hour and a half, people like it, I'm going to keep the playthrough going. Like I said, I have every intention of making it part of the schedule coming up. Okay? All right, guys, let us end the pre-stream. I got to get started here with Lost Judgment, man. Like, we went too long. We talked way too much about Christmas. By the way, it's 2 videos. The first video is like a half an hour. The second video is like an hour. So there's like 7, 8 podcasts today. I mean, holy fuck, there's so much for you to watch now, so much content. I put out so much content in a day, there's no way a human can watch it. You know what I'm saying? You'd actually have to quit your job and or forego all of your responsibilities as a person to actually watch all my content in one day. Okay? Alright, so here's the deal. I'm ending the pre-stream right now. Thanks, guys.